Assalamu alaikum everyone, I hope you're enjoying good health. I thought it's been quite a while I couldn't say hello to you, so why not to say hello again. With me I have our dearest Miss Shibra, of course, one who had been visible in the camera for longer. And we got a new bird in the house which is about to fly inshallah to UK, and he's appearing in his test maybe day after tomorrow, or yeah. So we are assessing him in the house. We are coining a new system of assessment in which two of us would be the examiners and he would be the examinee, and we are trying to put ultimate pressure in front of camera, in front of two examiners, and then we would see that how does he perform, and we'll try to give some feedback in the end. Yes, Mr. Brown?
Yes, sure.
Are we starting?
Yeah, sure.
Please, ma'am, over to you.
Okay, so now first, that contains like first part in which I'm gonna ask like very general questions from you, okay, just to get your general ideas, okay?
Yeah.
So my first question from you is, how often do you take photographs?
I usually take photographs times apart. I'm kind of photogenic person. I usually love photography, so eventually I when find out the things so much attractive like natural beauty and other things, I just take a shot of them.
Right, okay, and do you prefer comfortable shoes and good looking shoes?
I like comfortable shoes because I think good looking is just for to be as a visual thing, and but comfortable is being comfortable inside you. It gives you peace for a whole day.
Alright, okay. And do you lead a healthy lifestyle or not?
Obviously, the healthy lifestyle is a necessary component in a person's life. If you don't have a healthy lifestyle, you won't have would not last in life for too much, because if we can see nowadays how much diseases have been introduced into the world.
Right, okay. So my next question is, if you were a famous painter, what sort of pictures would you like to paint?
If I were a painter, I would love to paint the pictures of the natural beauties that catches the eyes of most of the people. If we see around the natural beauties of Pakistan in northern areas, the captivated of mountains and rivers, lakes, I like them.
Right, okay. And do you prefer to read books or magazines?
I prefer reading magazines because they have a wider knowledge, because they're not just only stick to the one topic. They, if we see the World magazine, it just tells us about the whole world in a very short span of time, in a very short span of time that is useful for us.
Right, okay. And what do you enjoy most about your job?
I enjoy most of the thing about my job is that I like it because I have of the job is that my hobby.
Right.
I think if a person is doing a job and he doesn't like it gets difficult for him to survive in that job, because you have to spend that 9 to 10 hours daily on that job or a week, 5 times a week, so it gets difficult. I think likeness matters in that.
Right. Okay, my last question is, would you give a book as a gift to someone?
Yes, I gave my book to one of my best friend when he was leaving the city. He was basically a hostelite, studying with me over here, and at the end of the
Right.
semesters we were just doing a party. So I just gifted him one of my good books that I like.
Okay, thank you so much. So this is the end of part 1.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to give you a cue card on which you are going to speak for 2 minutes. You will be having like 1 minute and you are going to prepare notes on that. Okay? So,
All right. Yep. Here we go. Shall I?
yeah, sure.
Okay, your timer has just been started, Nopal. All right, Nofil, you got 2 minutes to speak on the topic. and your timer has just been started.
One of the photographs I liked most in my life was of nature beauty. It was taken by a photographer that he was not basically a photographer. He was a YouTuber. One of my favorite YouTuber, Irfan Junejo. On his visit to Naran Kagan and northern areas of Pakistan, he clicked one of the finest picture, I guess. The picture contained a serene environment of natural beauty. It could be clearly be visible that all of the things are naturally uh, occurring in that picture. One of the things I liked most in that picture was a small wooden house that was surrounded by a lot much of the trees and mountains. A small river was passing by the house. I think that's a dreamy house for every other person, and it could be easily seen that a small garden was in front of that house and containing different flowers and fruits and small children playing in the garden. The parents were busy picking fruits, and it clearly showed a different scenario of lifestyle. If we see nowadays, we cannot find in this modern world how this can things can occur. But yeah, that was a picture. I think it was just telling us about the old ages. So it was that is why I like that, and it was shot about 2 years ago. So I guess there would have been more beautification in that picture now.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on towards part three, if you allow, ma'am. Can I?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so how has photography changed over the past 20 years?
Photography has changed a lot. Much of the change in photography in the span of time is drastic. If we see that photography in past 20 years, it was too much normal, but nowadays it is too much advanced. The cameras, the pictures, and the technologies. If we see the coverage of the cricket, it was not too much wide. Nowadays, the third umpire, if you can see the decisions taken by the third umpire, the edges taken, catches taken. So I think photography has developed by the technology.
Okay, so what makes a good photograph?
I think, according to me, the good photograph is what gives you a lesson, what gives you beauty of nature, what inspires you the most.
Okay, are photographs works or art?
I think photographs are the arts. They are the art of that person, that specific person. It is the art that is hiding inside that person. It is the art that is hiding, the talent that is hiding inside that person in his mind. So he just gives out a gesture of that through that picture.
Okay, do you agree that with the advances in camera technology, anyone can take quality pictures today?
Obviously, if we see that couple of years ago, when human went to the space, the cameras over there were not too much good. Then later onwards, that cameras were invented well and good. And I guess that I have learned the thing that the temperature over there is too much high. So obviously, if we don't develop a good technology cameras, we cannot just get the good results. So with the developing world, these things are important.
My last question from you. Do you think there are many dangers in sharing personal photos on social media now?
I think it depends on how, in what kind of society do you live, or what type of thing, type of the people you're surrounded with. But I guess in social media there are many of the things that give you privacy. If you can make your accounts private, if you don't like to keep the things public, so I guess there are options. One may choose the thing he or she suits.
All right, this is the end of your spoken test. Thank you very much, Naufel. Moving on towards feedback now. I hope you're comfortable.
Yes, sir.
Allow us to roast you. All right. What is your concern about his talk, Ms. Shivna, with the positives and negatives, of course?
Okay, first of all, the thing is I first noticed is that you were making a lot of pauses in your throughout. You can say might be you were shy, or might be you were kind of like not feeling comfortable. That's why you were making a lot of pauses throughout your speaking session. Yeah. Other than that, if I see like in part one, Part one, I really like the content. You were having like good ideas and you were giving good points and you basically come up with good points. Okay, so that went well kind of. If I say, but in some points you were making like plural kind of mistakes. For example, couple of years, and you said this, and I gifted. Sometimes you said this. So basically, the thing is sometimes you were using wrong form of verbs, and on the other hand, sometimes you were using some plural and singular forms of verbs. Yeah, this was the mistake I noticed.
Okay, and
Yeah.
if you were the real examiner, what you could have given him in terms of bands?
I think I would like to give him like 5.
Okay, well, that's the beauty of such kind of thing. Basically, once you appear in with British Council AE or IDP, that is the
Yeah.
thing. For example, if it is one-to-one, of course, good.
Mm.
But if it is recorded, of course, it is recorded. Then it is to be sent to some other examiner. So both the examiner may differ in terms of giving the bands. Okay, so that can be one of the things. Nofil, I am all praises. I remember the day you joined us, and this day you're speaking very well, mashallah. I'm very happy with this. First of all, I really like the confidence you have. Okay, hesitation, of course, as ma'am mentioned, I can not deny that it's there. But the confidence in terms of understanding the questions, it went very well. She asked you plethora of questions onto different domains, and you had been picking them up very well. Even in part three, I was asking such questions where, in one question, I wasn't sure myself what did I ask, and you got that too. To be honest with you, about the works and arts. So I really appreciate that thing in you, and that is so positive. She's right in that case. She mentioned about the plurals and singulars you make. For example, first you said, um, um, yeah. So it was a mixture of much and many, which you had basic problem with. And then you say he does not likes, which is a part of blunder. You were supposed to avoid. Then you said one of the thing, which is supposed to be one of the things. Okay, one of my best friends, one of my best classmates. So it was supposed to be plural too. In part two, it also went well. I liked the content you were trying to put on the table. That was good. But when it come to the question where she said, "Would you like to give something to someone?" It was a question,
Yeah.
and you basically, should I?
Yeah, you should.
Okay, so yeah, I guess that was part of part one. In that, it was the case. It was a
Yeah.
question about would you. That was
Yes,
supposed
would
to
you
be.
give a book as a gift?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you give a book as a gift or something? So it was supposed to be a probability or maybe a future thing, which you mentioned in past tense, which was not a good idea. You said I gifted a book, and the examiner wished to listen to the future tense of yours, maybe future perfect or future indefinite of your choice. In part three, I found occasional slips. I had my problem with your pronunciation of years once you mentioned years. So I would have my doubts on that too. So it is supposed to be years. And then with the understanding I mentioned, other than the pauses, and it is occasional, it is obvious. For example, you're exposed to maybe two proficient speakers, I guess. Camera behind the scene there are 5,000 people sitting watching you, so such kind of confidence, still I'm very glad with that. To me it was a performance of band 6, no offense to anyone.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, to me it is a band 6 performance, and I know that you would be getting, inshallah, and I'll share the results too with you. You'll be getting 7 in your speaking if it would be a regular speaking one-to-one session, unlike the one we clear today. Right, Nofil?
Yes, sir.
And over there in the real exam, they will check your ID card or passport. We did not do the drill because we were just trying to make it fast. But they will ask about that. So make sure in whichsoever identity proof you have booked your test, produce that on the test day as well. Nofil, thank you very much for your time. Thank you.